fantastic.
From last year.
Oh, you got it. Wonderful.
Rabbi, are you going to put it online again?
It is. It's already there, I've been told.
Oh, is it on the Beth Chaim website?
BethChaim.org/Passover.
Aha.
Great.
Thank you.
Oh, let's make copies.
I'll put it in the chat box.
I always leave my video all funny, you know.
Yep, the Haggadah we used last year should be up
Last
and
year.
running.
Where are you, Arlene?
It's very dark. It's hard to.
Shabbat Shalom all. We are live on YouTube.
Shabbat Shalom.
Hello.
Hello.
We'll be having our service Saturday, about 14 of us.
Oh, really
Well,
lovely.
there you never see.
Yeah.
It's sitting in the dark or something.
Yeah, I don't for the video.
Darlene on?
Carol?
Not yet.
We have several Arlenes on tonight. Hello to all the Arlenes.
Hello.
Leonard.
There's another one.
Where are you? I don't know.
Let's
Oh,
put this. Did we
here's-
let Arlene move?
Arlene.
Actually, there she is. We're
Ollie
good.
McCutcheon, hooray!
She made it. First time.
Did it turn on did your ears turn on with the TV? It's on TV.
Same size as everybody else.
Okay.
So I recently learned you can fit more faces on one screen.
Wow.
Changed
Yeah.
my life.
How did you do that?
What are you
So
doing?
you have to have the most up-to-date Zoom. So that's step A. And then you go into video settings,
Right.
No, we just.
and there's a selection for either 25 participants or 49.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Right.
Yeah, Ann Berman Waldorf taught me that trick.
Need a big screen.
How you doing, Arlene?
I'm good. How are you?
What time you want us over your house?
Hello.
Shalom.
Hi, Lois.
Hello. Well, if you see me in the dark, I'm in the car.
He's out.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Oh, hi, Camille. Hello.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Everybody.
Aston, what time are you having dinner for the first Seder?
Who's that? Lois?
It's me. Who else?
Me. Okay.
It's me.
Hi, Karen.
Hi.
Sue.
Hey, Lisa.
Hey, Cameo.
When you having yours, Arlene?
Hi. Both
I'm
Lisas.
not. I'm gonna be all by myself.
Hey, Jaspers.
Who's your boyfriend?
I don't have one.
Ellie, your hair is so long.
Yes. Just and
I
white.
was happy to read that you're doing the second Seder on Zoom.
You were happy to hear about that?
Yeah.
Oh, good. I'm glad. We're gonna mix it
Yeah.
up a little bit though. It's gonna be even more fun this year.
Good.
Okay.
Right.
Looking
Okay.
forward
Looking
to it.
forward to it.
It'll be nice.
So am I.
I'm going to switch over to my computer, my laptop as soon as it reboots.
Okay. Sure.
Bye. Bye.
Hi,
Hi, Lois.
How'd you like the weather, everybody, today?
Yesterday was magnificent.
Yes, they're beautiful.
Today was okay too.
Everybody's wearing shorts in my store. and sandals.
Yeah.
Everybody's beautiful.
Yeah. Lenny went golfing.
Is this the same as this?
Beautiful.
Hi, Laura. Hi, Cheryl. Hi, everybody. Hi, Cheryl.
Hey.
So funny, when I see your picture, I want to wave. Now I could be waving anytime and you're going to see it.
And you can also, you don't know who you're waving at.
Of
You're
course.
waving at everybody.
I'm waving to everybody.
That's right, everybody.
Hey, Robin.
Too.
Go back
Hey,
there.
Cameo.
I can't figure out how to get my earbuds. Well, I disconnected
I'm
from my
returning
phone.
your wave.
Hi, Laura. I'm on
Hi,
my phone
everybody.
right now.
Guys see Harbinette? They on?
Hi, Griffin.
Eileen Greenberg, you look like you're in a dark, dark room.
Who's that?
I'm in the car.
You're in the
He's driving
car.
and I'm holding my iPad.
Be careful. Be careful.
Okay.
Well, I'm not driving, so.
Okay.
Oh, good. That's good.
We hope not.
Hi, Cheryl.
Hiya, how are you?
Hey,
I'm
Rosie,
listening to
do
the
your
other
hair
Cheryl.
look nice.
Yeah.
What? Talking to the
Do
other.
your hair.
It's actually our first time out at night, for a year.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
How about me?
Arlene M.
What?
Did you get your hair done? Looks nice.
Oh, thank you.
There you are.
I got it cut.
Anybody notice my new look? Put it on my chin.
Yeah, you have whiskers.
What?
Yeah, are you growing a beard?
Goatee. See it?
A
Whoa.
little late.
I'm gonna be the rabbi's assistant.
All right. You
I
can
mean,
stroke
I
your
feel
beard
like-
now.
Lois loves it.
I bet not. You just said that.
She loves it.
You're right.
It's a
Yeah, I'm gonna turn off my phone.
Okay. Scare me.
All right, Sherry.
Okay.
My computer's up.
Oh, my God.
Hello, everyone. We're just going to mute you for now so we can hear our service leaders. But we'll start off tonight with an opening song by Cantor Binder.
מה יפה היום, שבת שלום, מה יפה היום, שבת שלום, שבת, שבת שלום, שבת, שבת שלום, שבת, שבת שלום. Shabbat Shalom, מה יפה היום, Shabbat Shalom, מה יפה היום, Shabbat Shalom.
Welcome to everyone who is with us by Zoom and by YouTube. This week felt to me like a weight was lifted. The sun came out and warmed the earth, and I felt lighter and freer. I spent time outside and I breathed a little easier. I know that the chill is returning and it is not yet officially spring, but I feel re-energized by this week. So I want to infuse tonight's service with gratitude for the week that was and with excited anticipation for the week that will be. Join Cantor Binder and me in welcoming Shabbat with joy and gladness with candles and wine. Sorry, Cantor, you are muted.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu. V'shabbat kodsho be'ahava u'v'ratzon hinchilanu. Zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit. כי הוא יום תחילה למקראי קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. כי בנו בחרת, ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים, ושבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. Amen.
Chaim. And now we continue with Lecha Dodi. So glad to see our friend. The Sabbath has arrived.
Lecha Dodi לקראת כלה בני שבת נקבלה. Lecha Dodi לקראת כלה בני שבת נקבלה. שמור וזכור ודיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד, אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, בשם ותפארת ולתהילה. Lecha Dodi לקראת כלה בני שבת נקבלה. Lecha Dodi לקראת כלה בני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי מקור הברכה מראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. Lecha Dodi לקראת כלה בני שבת נקבלה. Lecha Dodi לקראת כלה בני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי התעוררי כי באורך קומי אורי, אורי אורי שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. Lecha Dodi לקראת כלה בני שבת נקבלה. Lecha Dodi לקראת כלה בני שבת נקבלה. בואי בשלום מטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצולה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה בואי חלה. Lecha Dodi לקראת כלה בני שבת נקבלה. Lecha Dodi לקראת כלה בני שבת נקבלה.
I invite you to unmute and wish each other Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat
Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Hey.
Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, Neil.
Shabbat shalom.
Neil doesn't like the noise.
Lois.
Ya la la ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la la ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ברכו את אדוני המבורך, ברכו את אדוני המבורך, ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד, ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד. Ya la la ya world into being and spread all the stars in the heavens above. You made the morning and evening, surrounding us daily with signs of your love. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidbaro ma'ariv alavim, ma'ariv alavim. Ahavat olam Beit Yisrael, Amcha avta, Amcha avta. Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu limadeta, otanu limadeta. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu v'shochbeinu v'kumeinu nasiach bechukecha v'nismach b'divrei toratecha ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד, כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו, ובהם נגע יומם ולילה, נגע יומם ולילה. ואהבתך תסיר ממנו לעולמים, ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל, אוהב עמו ישראל. שמע ישראל אדוני אלוהינו אדוני אחד. 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 ברוך שם כבוד מלכותו לעולם ועד. לה 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 יה לה 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 יה לה 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 לה. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. לה לה יה לה 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 והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך. לה לה יה לה 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 לה. ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם נאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך, על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. Ya la ya la 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 למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם אלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
We'll now hear a reading from Sherry Barsky.
Give Love Wings by Alden Solovey. Give your love wings to soar with the music and the prayers that dance between us, that sing around us, that rise shimmering to the heavens in radiance and glory. Give your heart freedom to float breathless in the vastness of the universe, to become one with the soul of all beings, to enter the majesty of light, pulsing from the ancient yearnings of our heart. Give your love wings to soar, and when you reach God's holy place, open your hands in blessing.
מי כמוך בעלים אדוני מי כמוך נהדר בקודש מי כמוך בעלים אדוני מי כמוך נהדר בקודש נורא תהילות אוסף אליהם נורא תהילות אוסף אליהם מי כמוך בעלים אדוני מי כמוך נהדר בקודש מי כמוך בעלים אדוני מי כמוך נהדר בקודש נורא תהילות אוסף אליהם נורא תהילות אוסף אשכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום ועמיתנו שומרנו לחיים. Spread the shelter of your peace over us. Guide us in wisdom, compassion and trust. Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom V'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Save us for the sake of your name. Shield us from sorrow, hatred, and pain. Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom V'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. בני ובן בני ישראל אהותי לעולם, בני ובן בני ישראל אהותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש, וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
We'll now hear from Jill Cross. We just need you to unmute, Jill. Let's see what we can do for you.
Okay.
We can hear you now. Oh, we lost you again.
There we go.
Yep.
Okay, sorry. Invitations by Alden Solovi. Quiet now. Listen. Breathe and listen. Blessings float gently around you. Your prayers set them free. Oh, you hidden delight of heaven. Oh, you secret gift of God. Welcome your majesty and splendor. Prayers are invitations beckoning holiness and awe, radiance and wonder to join in this moment, summoning compassion and grace, healing and hope to spread their wings. Quiet now. Listen to the blessings from the earth and the prayers in the wind. They yearn for you, calling out to join in the chorus. Breathe and sing out with your spirit and your voice. Oh, you hidden delight of heaven. Oh, you secret gift of God. Welcome your majesty and splendor.
Thank you, Jill.
Thank you.
Na 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 Adonai, na 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 Sfatai Tika, na 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 Ufi Yagi Tehilatecha, Ufi Yagi Tehilatecha. Na 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 Adonai, na 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 Sfatai Tika, na 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 Ufi Yagi Tehilatecha, Ufi Yagi Tehilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor ve'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim ve'Konei Hakol, V'Zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, U'Mevi Geula Livnei V'neihem, Leman Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Ve'ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayei hakol atah Rav le'Hoshia, Mashiv haruach u'morid hagashem, Mechalkel chayim bechesed, Mechayei hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim ve'rofei cholim, U'matir asurim, U'mekayem emunato lishenei afar, Michamocha bal gevorot, U'midom elach, Melech memit u'mechaye, U'matzmiach Yeshua, V'neman ata lehachayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai, mechaye hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kedoshim b'chol yom yahlelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh.
We now return to this theme of gratitude, and we want to take a moment to acknowledge all the blessings in our lives. So I invite you to type in the chat box if you are celebrating a special occasion, if there's something you want to say thank you for specifically this Shabbat this week, and we want to be able to express our gratitude with you. I got my second shot this week, so I'm feeling grateful for that medicine. Grateful for more daylight, which we'll get even more after Saturday night. Grateful for all of those who've been able to get the vaccine. Grateful to reconnect with old friends. Oh, good. So glad to hear people are getting the vaccinations. Grateful for those in need to receive stimulus checks. Grateful to be able to drive and hug grandchildren. All right, Cantor, let's say thank you together.
Modim anachnu lach, modim anachnu lach.
Please keep the expressions of gratitude coming as we transition to Shalom Rav, our prayer for peace. May this time, next Shabbat, we say thank you for world peace.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Sim Me'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Sim Me'olam. Ki ata hu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki ata hu melech adon Kol hashalom, shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Sim Me'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Sim Me'olam. V'tu benecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael b'chol עת ובכל שעה ישלומך. שלום רב על ישראל עמך שים לעולם. שלום רב על ישראל עמך שים לעולם. ברוך אתה אדוני המברך את עמו Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha.
Okay, I can listen in the car.
Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam.
We take a few moments for silent prayer to offer up our own hopes and dreams and wishes, and to take a few moments to just sit in quiet.
Ose shalom bimromav hu yaseh shalom aleinu. 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 Ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru amen. Ose shalom bimromav hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Ose shalom bimromav hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Ose shalom bimromav hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Ose shalom bimromav hu yaseh shalom aleinu.
Our thoughts now turn to all those in need of healing. Healing of the body, healing of the mind, healing of the heart, and healing of the soul. If you are keeping someone in your thoughts and prayers, I invite you to type those names in the chat box as I share these names. Rhoda Schwartz, Arlene Grable, Teddy Molaski, Nathan Hecker, William Jackie Sola, Steve Bizanoff, Marion Berman, Marvin and Ginny Gittleman, Betty Abramowitz, Bob Gast, Chaim Ben Esther, Elaine Berkowitz, Bernard Greenwald, Allison Schaffman Flood, Gail Malter, Allie Mazes, Iris Horowitz, Avram Glazer, Ed Glazer, Claire Munkachi, Marlena Elkin, Lisa Scher, Sheldon Kaplan, Arlene Mulry Pearl, Yisrael Binyamin, Jill Sava, Dorothy Chason, Toby Arias, Piper Fitzpatrick, Diane Walter, Rosalie Krieger, Barbara Gladstone, Angelo Verzoni, Sue Mahalko, Louis Baskin, Erica Taylor, Carla Brown, Zipporah Bat-Shoshana, Sandra Schachter, Ellen Weisberg, the Evans family, Francine, Heidi Hughes, Stanton Singer, Bernard Greenwald, Rima Globinski, Ross Elkin, and the Aflalo Faye Urkel family. For all those and many more, we join together in this prayer for healing.
Hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. See if you can keep that going. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Magadlu masechaya מאוד עמקו מחשבותיך, מה גדלו מעשיך היה, מאוד עמקו מחשבותיך. הללויה, 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 הללויה.
This week, we turn to Parshat Vayakhel Pikudei, a double Torah portion at the end of the book of Exodus. And I addressed this theme a few weeks ago when we hit Parshat Truma, the portion of giving of free will, giving of our hearts. And it's finally in this week's Torah portion that we learn when the Israelites were asked to give, they gave more than was needed. They gave above and beyond, so much so that Moses had to say, stop, we have enough. We can't take any more. So rare that anyone who's asking for folks to give would say that. But we have to remember that they were traveling in the wilderness and only needed what they were going to use in that moment. And so the Israelites stopped giving of the material goods, but continued to give of their time and their energy and their skill. And what they used that time and energy and skill to do, at least at this point in our portion, at this point in our Torah reading cycle, is finally, after weeks and weeks and weeks of receiving the instructions of how to build this holy portable house for God, we finally finish. And we read a lot of description in the Torah, but sometimes it's hard to wrap our minds around it. And so I'm going to show you at least how certain illustrators imagined that this building project looked like. Okay. I just want to see some more faces, so give me a moment. So here we have the tent of meeting, in Hebrew, the Ohel Moed. And it was the holy gathering space amid the entire Israelite camp. And as you can see, there are residential tents surrounding this special tent set aside. There's a very clear divider between this sacred space and the rest of the community. And that's to differentiate what is going on inside and out. And there are very strict rules of purity that govern what happens within those white cloth fences. And we're going to keep honing in. So this is the big picture. And what I just circled for all of you is where we're heading next. The Mishkan, the tabernacle. So this is where the most significant ritual activities are going to take place and where our most sacred ritual objects live. As you can see, we have a 7-branch menorah. We understand that 7-branched golden menorah also went all the way to Jerusalem, where it landed in the temple that was eventually built. Many congregations have 7-branched golden menorahs in their sanctuary. Ours live on the wall, and there's artistic renderings of it. But we're not talking about the 7-branch menorah today. Instead, we're going to talk about this object, the Ark of the Covenant. And anyone who's seen Indiana Jones and Raiders of the Lost Ark, this may look familiar to you. Inside this beautiful golden overlay over acacia wood carrying case, contained the 10 Commandments, the tablets that contain God's teaching. But we're going to talk less about what's inside and more about what's on top. So we have two figures, which may sound surprising since so much of Jewish tradition is wary of making humanoid life form figures in our ritual objects. But here we have what the Torah tells us are kruvim, which is funny for anyone who speaks modern Israeli Hebrew because it's very similar to the word for cabbage. But instead, we're talking about how we understand in English the cherubim. So this is not a Latin word. This is not an English word. This is a Hebrew word. And while we often, based on where we've grown up, and the cultural associations we have, conceive of cherubim as little adorable infant pudgy, angelic creatures flying around with wings and maybe even a bow and arrow, but not such. We don't get usually warm and fuzzy angelic creatures in the Hebrew Bible. Usually angels are wielding swords of fire or doing something else that's equally impressive or terrifying. But here we have cherubim who are a little less scary based on the description, but we have two of them. So also a sign that, what's going on here? Because we want to be sure that we reinforce that we're only worshiping one God. But the idea is that they do look more like us. So they're not quite God and they're not quite us. There's something in between, but there's two of them and they're looking at each other. And the text is very, very clear that they have to be facing one another, literally in Hebrew, one to his brother, which I think is a really beautiful formulation for this, so that our most sacred teaching, which is contained therein, the cover on top are two creatures who are in dialogue, who are in relationship with each other, who actually have to look each other in the eye as they're doing this holy work of protecting what is inside as well. And I think it's really an important model for us. How do we best relate to one another? Often when we see each other. We know in the world of the internet, when you're just chatting and there's no visual and you don't get to see how the person on the other end is emoting, you might be more likely to say something that you wouldn't to their face. And this is where we get cyberbullying. This is why Zoom is so much more powerful than when we were live streaming our services, when many of us were worshiping in the sanctuary. Because if you were on the other end of the live stream, you could see what was happening on the Bima most of the time, as long as the folks on the Bima stayed in a certain box. But you couldn't see any of the people in the pews. You couldn't see the faces of the other people who were praying. And so Zoom is really powerful because we can still see each other's faces. And that I can give a sermon literally talking to my computer, but yet I can watch all of you smile or grimace as I speak. So a really important lesson that I'm taking away from this beautiful cover of the Ark. Something else that I was looking at in this week's Torah portion, which is not the first time we've heard of it, but yet again, I'm reminded, the garments for the high priest. So the high priest was in charge of this whole business of the Ohel Moed and the Mishkan. This was his domain, his purview. And the very first high priest was Aaron, Moses's brother. And it's a job that can only be passed down from father to eldest son. And making sure that eldest son lives to accept the role, which we're going to see in a little bit, what can happen there. But the important piece of the outfit that I want to focus on is called the ephod, the breastplate, which our current breastplates for our Torah scrolls are modeled after. And what I find to be so powerful about how the breastplate is designed is that there are supposed to be 12 gems, each unique, all different colors, all different values assigned to them. And the Torah actually gives us a list of what they all were, whether or not we understand the translation to today. But this is my understanding where we get the concept of birthstones, as there are 12 months of the year, and there are 12 stones on the ephod to represent the 12 tribes of Israel. And this is not the first time this week I've been sharing this teaching, but it's really sticking with me, that all the stones are the same size. They're in a layout where they're all treated in the same way. So they're all the same width, all the same length, on a grid. They're supposed to be laid out in birth order so that even if there's a larger tribe or a more powerful tribe, they're not getting top billing because of that political advantage. At least in front of God, when the high priest is wearing this visual representation of all of the people whom he represents, then we're going to all be treated equally in the eyes of God. And after all this work was completed, after the tireless hours, after the wood carving and the smelting and the soldering and the craftsmanship and the artisanship, after all of this was complete, Moses looks out and sees that they had done everything that God had asked them to do. To the letter of the law, the people had followed the divine instructions, and they did it beautifully. It was a job impeccably well done. And so what does Moses do? He thanks them in one of the most powerful ways that we can. Moses blesses the people. I was almost inclined to put up the symbol of the high priest's blessing, but then I didn't want to conflate the two, because the moment that this is set up, Aaron, the high priest, this is his domain. He can go wherever he needs to, but Moses cannot go into the inner sanctum. Moses is prohibited from full access to all of this. And that was by design, because he does not hold the ritual role in the community. He is the prophet. He gets to talk to God in an intimate way. He is leading the people. He is organizing the people, ensuring that all the infrastructure is in place, but the ritual aspects are left to his brother. But Moses can still bless the people. It's not going to be the same blessing that we're used to. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. Nope, that is assigned to the high priest, but Moses can bless them from his heart, and he can bless them with words that come to him. And when we are moved by something that we see, or when we are inspired by the work of others, or when we want to express our gratitude, we're invited to walk in Moses's footsteps and bless each other as well. And Moses, he couldn't go in because the cloud of the eternal, the glory of God filled the tabernacle. I purposefully chose this image because it's not so intimidating. It looks almost like there's a really good fire going on in this tent. But as you can see, the ritual fire, the sacrificial fire is out front. It's much smaller. There are humans tending to it. But the cloud that I circled for all of you just then, that was the presence of God. So even though the Israelites couldn't see God's embodiment, they could see this symbol, this sign that God was with them. And it was this cloud that the people followed in the wilderness. They were actually walking along with this cloud. And of course, because you can't see cloud at night, we have fire. The cloud turns to fire at night. So this bright light. And this image is a little less terrifying than some of the others I found. There were some that were really striking, that it felt like, it was a fire that was threatening to, break its bounds. This one seemed a little more contained, but I imagine it was a really powerful sight to see this cloud or fire that never went away. Sometimes it moved, and it's when it moved that the people needed to pack up and make sure everything was tucked away just so, and taken apart so that it could be reassembled again at their next stop. And they would follow this presence of God through cloud or fire until, well, usually by cloud. We don't usually travel at night if we can help it, although clearly they would have some light to guide them. And until the cloud or the fire stopped, and then they'd set up camp yet again. And in this way, the people didn't feel alone. The people didn't feel as if they were wandering aimlessly. They really felt guided as they went. And so it's such a powerful symbol of the guidance we all look for, whether we're looking to religious leaders, whether we're looking to political leaders, whether we're looking to leaders in our local community. Many of us are looking for guidance in lots of ways, and wish it were so simple as to just look up and find a pillar of cloud or a pillar of fire. But at the same time, even that's a little scary, to put our faith in something beyond us, to have faith that it's going to turn out okay, and that where we're being led is actually a positive place. And the Israelites at this stage in their journey do not know it's going to be 40 years. Even God doesn't know it's going to be 40 years of this kind of wandering. But nevertheless, the people did the work, and then they packed up and carried on their way. And next week, we'll be heading into the book of Leviticus by Yikra, which is chock full of details about what exactly happened in this gathering space, this tent of meeting. It's often looked at as incongruous with modern day Jewish practice, but I'm going to invite everybody as we dive into these other Torah portions going forward, that we try to look at the allegories hidden in them, the metaphors hidden in them. Our rabbis have, once they realized that we weren't going back to sacrificial practice so quickly, really tried to make sense of them, how these ancient ideas and actions can be translated for today. And the most important one that even speaks to us in this community is that instead of offering animals on an altar as sacrifice, that we're offering our hearts and our words as sacrifice and in prayer. And so as we conclude the Torah portion that ends the book of Exodus, join with me in these powerful words that remind us that we need strength. And sometimes it's only when we're together that we can garner that strength. So, Chazak, Chazak, Banit Chazek, be strong, and may we strengthen one another. We now turn to the words of Aleinu, reminding us that we are partnering with God to make this world a stronger, healthier, better place.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד ארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגבי מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אין עוד. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים, לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Our thoughts now turn to all those who've gone before us, whose memories we honor and cherish. We acknowledge two who died this week, Joan Diamond Carter, mother of Maddie Neufeld, and Francine Schneider, grandmother of Michael Fox, whose wife Nara grew up here at Beth Chaim. Her parents are Karen Brodsky and Don Leibowitz. Judy Stellion is in Shiva, the first 7 days of mourning, as she laid her husband Gabe to rest this week. And these loved ones are in the period of Shloshim, the first 30 days of mourning. Susan Bershad is mourning the loss of her husband, Ed. Fiona Platten is mourning the loss of her mother, Nessa Holmes. And Samantha Blatt and her mother, Jean Nitzberg, are mourning the loss of Samantha's father, Gary Blatt. We also acknowledge the yard sites, the anniversary of the passings of these loved ones. Claire Derman, Linda and Stanley Trott, Harold Bloomberg, Beatrice Ruth Bloomberg, Estelle Bogad, Joseph Circus, Milton Cohen, Mildred Kelsky, Mark Letterman, Elaine Goldstein, Bruce Edelman, Edward Epman, Al Farber, Harvey Gleeksman, Irving Gold, Bernard Donald Reuter, Elaine Halberstadt, Ruth Sacken Coleman and Lester Coleman, Miriam and Herman Harris, Benjamin Spar, Riva Messeloff Greenberg, Michael Jasper, Sidney Josephson, Ida Karyevsky, Nathan Kressel, Estelle White, Sylvia Dahlberg, Jonas Katz, Joseph Meyer, Carol Glazer, Rose Orbach, Lillian Badak, Louis Perlman, Paula Richter, Daniel Greenbaum, Renee Sachs, Ruth Lester, Alan Jacobowitz, Francine Ellen Sheffield, Esther Strager, Arthur Verschleiser, Joseph Blank, Diana Glantz, Morris Gross, Nathaniel Mahler, Yetta Weinstein, Irving Pollock, and Pauline Schwartz. In their memory, in the memory of all those whom we have lost, we recite these hallowed words as mourners Kaddish together. Yit Gadal v'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah, v'yalma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'vizman kari v'imru amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah mevarach le'alam u'almei almaya, Yit barach v'yishtabach v'yit pa'ar v'yit romam v'yit naseh, v'yit hadar v'yit aleh v'yit halal shemei kudishat brichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran v'yalma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and to all Israel, to which we say, Amen. We'll now hear a few announcements from Drew Staffenberg. We'll just need you to unmute, Drew.
Unmute. Okay. Sorry. Shalom. On behalf of the Board of Directors of Congregation Beth Chaim, thank you for joining us tonight for our Shabbat service. On Saturday, our weekly Torah study meets at 8:45. At 9 a.m., the current B'nai Mitzvah family class will meet. It's another busy week at Congregation Beth Chaim. Learning in the Lot for Religious School will meet Sunday at 9 a.m., followed by Zoom School at 11 a.m. Our adult education series, Heart, Mind, and Soul, continues at 9:30 a.m. The final meeting of the nominating committee is at 10 a.m., followed by Tikkun Alum Committee at 11 a.m. And it's only Sunday. On Tuesday, the Nefesh meeting is at 7 p.m., and the membership committee meeting is at 8 p.m. On Wednesday evening, Zoom Religious School will meet at 4:30 p.m. and at 7 p.m. The fundraising committee and sisterhood board meetings will begin at 7 p.m. The reopening task force is on the calendar every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m., but will only meet as needed. On Thursday, our Israel task force will meet at 7 p.m. And next Friday, our Shabbat service will begin at 8 p.m. This will be a learning service, so join us to explore the themes and meaning of the prayers. Last call if you want to be considered for a leadership position on our board of directors, as the last meeting of the nominating committee is this Sunday. Please contact past President Ken Pogrub if you're interested. Come one, come all to our Senior Rabbi Installation Weekend, April 23rd, 25th. Tickets are available at bethchaim.betterworld.org. And the installation committee is still seeking items for a silent auction. Visit our website, bethchaim.org, for more details about upcoming events. Thank you, as always, for being a valued member of our community, and Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you, Drew. So we had a request this past week to say motzi because many people are baking their own challah or enjoying dessert shortly after services, or for some folks even during services, which is, I'm so jealous. So if anybody has a challah that they want to share on the screen, I did not make the one in my picture, but I thought it would be festive for all of us. We'll join in motzi together so that you can all then go and have dessert with your kosher stamp of approval. So I'm browsing the video. Anyone have something baked they want to share? No? All right, maybe next week. All right. So, Candor, take it away.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
Amen. All right. As we go forth into this new week, may we only go from strength to strength, garnering that strength from the important people in our lives, from our community, from those who care for us. And may we continue to bless each other.
We have come from near and far to raise our voice in song. And the more we join in the refrain, the more we feel strong. Chazak, Chazak, Venid Chazek. There is a power in this place and time. It shapes the rest of our lives. When we return each year, we find a truth we can't deny. Be strong, let us strengthen one another. Be strong, let us celebrate our lives. Be strong, let us strengthen one another. Chazak, Chazak, Venitchazek. Chazak, Chazak, Venitchazek. As we sing, we link ourselves to those who came before. And we're one with all those yet to come. Our strength, it will endure. Be strong, let us strengthen one another. Be strong, let us celebrate our lives. Be strong, let us strengthen one another. Chazak, Chazak. Be strong, let us strengthen one another. Be strong, let us celebrate our lives. Be strong, let us strengthen one another. Chazak, Chazak. Be strong, be strong. Be Chazak, Chazak, Venitchazek.
In the words of the high priest, first Aaron, and then all those who came after him.
Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmarecha.
May God bless us and protect us.
Yaher Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka.
May God's light shine upon us, and may God be gracious to us.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom.
May we always feel that God's presence is near, and may we be blessed with the greatest gift of all, the gift of peace.
Amen.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom,
music,
everybody. Enjoy the next one. Just set your
Thank
clocks.
you.
Set your clocks.
Have a great week.
Wow.
Very nice week.
Yeah,
Bring
clocks.
ahead. Use your cell phone as an alarm clock.
Bring ahead. Wonderful. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, everybody.
Shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Thank you, Kanta. Thank you.
Thank you, Cheryl.
Beautiful service.
Thanks,
Very
Mom.
Rabbi,
That's wonderful.
Yes, Lou?
one riddle, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Why?
Beautiful service. Shabbat shalom.
Why do we read from
Thanks,
our
Betsy.
Haggadah?
Say it again.
Why do we
Sorry.
read from a Haggadah?
Cause we gotta.
Of course, we want to be able to say to write the words. Say the right
What?
words. Say the right.
Oh,
Well, they won't. She said-
You're
Very
a
nice.
jokester, Lou.
What?
Always
Bye,
a
everybody.
jokester.
Nice job, Rabbi. Thank you.
Oh,
Very
come
nice
on.
job.
Hey, Rabbi.
Lou, you know, on Passover, no levity.
Oh, more levity, the better. More. Better.
That was good.
Oh.
Oh,
I'll
Okay,
need to
right.
get a matzah background for those services.
That's a nice color. Is that a color
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Shabbat shalom.
Okay.